Do you think sales is a survival skill?
There's no meaning to your life if you stay in that shell. You have to break that shell.
His life goal became that मेरे बच्चे अगर लड़ भी रहे हो तो इंग्लिश में लड़ेंगे.
And I feel that every person should be a salesman once professionally in their life.
It does not matter how big a certificate you have. You're still not the number one choice of the employers. Hello and welcome to Century Conversations. If you're a fresh graduate listening in, standing at the crossroads of your career and wondering how to take the first big step, this episode is for you. This conversation is inspired by the vision of a remarkable leader, Mr. Balkrishan Rathod, someone who started in a small town just like many of you and went on to become the CEO of a successful company. His journey is a proof that with the right attitude, the right skills, and the courage to keep going, anything is possible. And it's his vision that has given birth to a very special program designed just for you. To discuss this vision and how we can build on this, we have with us Mr. Colyn Athaide, training manager at Century Bank Brokerage, with extensive experience in the financial industry and a deep passion for learning and development. Over the years, he has guided countless young professionals, shaping not only their sales careers, but also their confidence, communication, and resilience. In today's episode, we'll talk about why soft skills are no longer optional, how you can transform yourself from a small town graduate into a confident salesperson in the corporate world, and what opportunities lie ahead if you take this step forward. By the end of this session, you will know exactly what is in it for you, a roadmap to build confidence, sharpen your skills, and step into a future full of possibilities. So stay with us because your transformation could very well start today. Hello, Colyn. Thank you so much for coming to Century Conversations. And I think this is one of those episodes where they're going to uncover a lot of things. And we have already seen in the beginning that how inspired these training programs are. But I want to ask you, what really inspired the idea of these training programs? And what do you hope that these fresh graduates or these young lads, what do you expect them to achieve from this?
Look, thank you for bringing that question up. To be very honest with you, the RISE program that we are going to talk about, the program name is RISE.
Okay.
RISE itself means that you need to rise from where you are. So the inspiration came from a visionary leader. What he said is, I want you to be successful. I want you to rise up from where you are.
Yes.
I want you to be ensuring that you do the best or you come out with the best that you have. So the program altogether is designed in such a way that it enhances your communication skills. Now, what is important for any person to be successful in his life? The most important parameter, what I feel, is your communication. So the program is built around communication. The program talks a lot about communication, and the idea of the ideology of this program mainly focuses on how to enhance an individual. So, for example, we have a fresh graduate who would always want to get successful in his life. He tries and tries and tries, but then somewhere down the line, he lags some skills which doesn't come to him or doesn't come out of him. So what do we need over here? We need to start polishing or bringing out the skills. And for that, this program is designed in such a way that we have to ensure that this person has the right attitude,
Correct.
has the right will to ensure that he's successful.
And it is so easier said than done. I'm sure we always talk about communication training and the importance of communication skills. But I feel the only person who can understand the importance of communication skills who has actually seen failures due to that role. And when you say communication skills, can I say this is what soft skills are also about? Does this mean the same as we hear the soft skills?
So communication skills are a part of soft skills.
Okay.
Soft skills has a wider umbrella.
Okay. So what is soft skills? How critical do you think this will be? I say.
It's a very nice question. Now, in order to explain you what is soft skills, I would like to tell you what are hard skills.
Okay. Go ahead.
So whatever we learn in our college, in our schools, in our kindergarten, are all the hard skills because they teach you what's in the book, right? So in order to come out of that, in order to have, so now you have hard skills. You need to have soft skills. So what is soft skills? Soft skills is nothing but your behaviors, your inner behaviors. We have soft skills since our childhood.
Right.
Okay. So crying can be considered as your soft skills. Nagging about something can be considered as your soft skills. Okay. Your attitude towards your friends, your attitude towards how you play a particular game can be considered as soft skill.
Wow.
So to give you a classic example, if you're playing cricket, and because cricket is widely played in India, I'm
Yes.
taking this as an example.
Yes.
So you may have a bat and a ball, but do you have the cricket sense?
No, it's just the equipment for me.
Correct.
I
So
need the strategy. I need the
exactly. So with a bat and a ball, will you be able to win the match, or let me take you down one step. Will you be able to score runs?
not without the perfect skill.
Correct. So for that, you need those soft skills. So you need the cricket sense. Okay. You need to know how the bowler bowls, where are the fielders placed, how can I shot the ball, or how can I hit the ball
Yeah.
in the right place where I can score runs.
There are a lot of these things which you don't study in books. So you said it so right that while we go to schools and colleges, we are taught that discipline that you have to go, you have read a book, have to do your homework.
Right.
So you're saying that's the part of the hard skill.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to soft skills, it's basically how you function as a human being.
Yes.
And when you say it like this, it sounds so significant that if someone doesn't have the expertise in it, it will become impossible for a person to be successful. Am I right?
Correct. Well, I absolutely agree. You look at a fresh graduate who's just out of the college.
Yeah.
Okay. Will he directly get a job? Or maybe he might get a job which is maybe sitting in one corner doing some data entry.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you be able to succeed onto the next level by doing that? No. The answer is no. Because what you need is you need the skills to present yourself well. Okay. To ensure that people understand what message you want to send across. To ensure that your attitude is taken into consideration for the role that people are looking out for.
Well,
So it is not something that you have a certificate,
Yeah.
and you just show the certificate and you get a job.
because it is, again, this is such an important thing because while growing up, all we are told about is that if forget about everything, just study, you get your certificates, you get your degrees right, and then you do what you want to do. But that was also my next question, that what you just said, if certification is not everything, if degree is not everything, which means there are some unique challenges which the fresh graduates they face when they actually get out in the real world, and or they travel to a whole different country. What are these unique challenges they are facing? Because this is actually unique that it does not matter how big a certificate you have, you're still not the number one choice of the employers. So what do you think, what are these unique challenges these fresh graduates are facing?
So look, there are so many challenges that a fresh graduate might across or might come across.
Yeah.
What I feel is that, and to answer your question in a better way, I'll just take a step back. If you have a certificate and if you go in an interview room,
Yeah.
do you think you'll get the job? No, you won't get a job. What do you need there? You need those interviewing skills. That interview skills. How do you perform in an interview? An interview skill is a part of the wider umbrella of soft skills. So, the first aspect that a fresh graduate needs under this umbrella is communication. Because communication plays a very important role to pass your message to the receiver. So there's a cycle which says that, in a communication process, there's a message which is sent across from the sender to the receiver. Okay. And when that message is heard across by the receiver responds back. There's a channel over there. Okay. It's a very simple thing to say that communication happens in between two people. Okay. And communication, of course, happens with words, with signs, with body language. So there are many aspects under communication. But what the fresh graduates lack in this point of time is the communication skill.
तो हमारी तो पूरी लाइफ डिग्री के पीछे भागते-भागते चली गई. If you have the right degree, if you have the right certificate, job मिलेगा. But now you're also saying that there is a lot more than this. So, which brings me to the next question. So, there is one technical skill, and then what you're now talking about is the soft skill. Correct. Technical skill, if I understand it right, is the ability to know how to work. Basically, what's your job? So today, if I have to go for an accounting job, I need to have a certificate in accounting. I need to know that how to do my entries right. Correct. इतना काफी नहीं है क्या? Why we need to have a separate whole program, and which one is more important, do you feel, for a fresh graduate? A technical skill, knowing what to do and how to do it, or a soft skill which is more of a behavior pattern or a behavioral understanding?
Correct. So, to answer your question, when you went to school, did you just enter the classroom, opened your book, studied, and went home? Or did you interact with people? Did you talk with people? Did you
Interact with people, yes.
The similar kind of a environment is when you start working. You cannot just go to an office, open your laptop, work, and go home. You need to socialize. And when you come into a corporate world, the first aspect of it is your communication. How well is your message sent across to people?
Yeah.
How well people understand your message? Now, if we talk about communication, after communication, there are so many other things.
There's body language, there's confidence. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And to deepen it down, you have emotional intelligence, you have empathy, you have sympathy. These are all the aspects of the soft skills umbrella. So you need to have these life skills, and I would rather name it from, or change the name from, soft skills to life skills.
But Colin, weren't these things before, when our parents were growing up?
Absolutely.
Or they existed and our parents mastered it, but there was never a name for this thing.
Correct.
But now everything has a name, so obviously the world is changing. A lot of people are closing themselves behind doors. They want to communicate more online rather than talking to each other. So I think a need has come out to tell everyone कि भाई soft skills भी हैं, आपकी body language matter करती है, आपका confidence matter करता है, not just the way you know things to be done, because everybody has a certification. What is really going to bring an X factor is how you carry yourself. This is exactly right.
Correct. So see, as you rightly said, our parents had these skills among them, and in fact, our parents were the first teachers for us to ensure that we have those soft skills. We have guests in our house.
Yes.
Go and say good morning, uncle. Good morning, auntie.
Right.
Okay.
Namaste karo.
Namaste karo. Pair chuo. Okay. You see someone going, maybe a vendor.
Yeah.
Call them.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are parents teaching us? Our parents are teaching us the soft skills.
Right.
Now, it's a very complex situation when you know that, oh, is it so simple? These are soft skills. I already have it. But do you have it? Yes, that's right. But you have to take it out. Okay. And that take out thing has to come across in a structured manner and in a proper manner where you are actually telling them what to do when.
Right.
So when you know that this skill is present in me, I can be rest assured that yes, Yogesh, you have this skill in you. You just need to polish it to bring it out. How you bring it out is the entire training program.
So how is the question? Jesse, I'm sure there are a lot of the young graduates who are willing to make the name in the world. They are obviously, I'm sure they're looking at this video, listening to us. Which do you think is that one soft skill which I can practice as a youngster, as a fresh graduate, if I practice it daily and gets improved? That one soft skill, which one would you recommend?
It's the easiest skill that they can have, and that I'm sure that they will be doing right now also,
Which is
communication.
communication.
Yes.
If you can elaborate the communication.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So communication, under the communication, you have something called as clarity. clarity, conciseness. Okay? You need to know what message should go across. You need to know the uniqueness of the message. Like, for example, you are selling a product. Okay. Do you just sell a product, or you think about what would be the USP of this product?
What should be the USP of the product?
Right.
How do we do it? Yeah.
Yes. So when we talk about communication, okay, so let's take an example of me. Okay. If I'm sitting over here and I'm letting you know certain things about this podcast, okay, I will be elaborating more on what are the USPs of these products. Okay. Why is communication extremely important when you want to send your message across? I'm sitting here to let you know how my training can benefit people. What is the purpose of this training? How you can make sure that you come out from that small city to a bigger city with huge dreams.
Why? That's very good.
Yes, so that's something that we are looking for. And for that, communication is essential.
So how do we practice this? I remembered my father always wanted to speak in English, but somewhere he was not able to do that. But then his life goal became that मेरे बच्चे अगर लड़ भी रहे हो तो इंग्लिश में लड़ेंगे. Like each time me and my brother we were fighting, he would enter in the room, wouldn't care what we were fighting about. So whatever you guys are doing, English में करो. It sounds much better when you're doing it in English, right? It is still such a taboo in India कि अगर आपको इंग्लिश नहीं आती है तो आपको लोग जज करते हैं. It does not matter how great a degree you hold. In fact, of course, we promote our national language, but that is also a fact that if we go out in a different country and we want to work, English becomes that universal medium of understanding. Correct. I'm sure there's still a lot of kids who are kind of shy and hesitant to even speak English in their household. Maybe किसी के पास बात करने के लिए कोई नहीं है, या somewhere they feel they don't still understand a very grave need of learning this thing. How do you think somebody can improve on this thing on its own while they're kids at the moment?
In fact, you had a question and you had an answer for that, but I'll elaborate more on that. So we all back home, most of these youngsters these days go to English medium schools.
Yes.
Okay. They learn English in their book. They read English.
सिर्फ book में होता है.
Exactly.
Nobody speaks English in
Right.
schools. Yeah.
But then you have a basic understanding about English language.
Yeah.
English again is English is not a phonetic language. जैसे कि हिंदी, it's written in the way it is spoken. But English is not written in the same way it is spoken. Okay? ताकि मैं आपको एक word बताता हूँ, for example, or I'll spell that word for you. schedule.
Schedule.
Okay? For some it may be schedule.
Yeah.
For some it may be schedule.
Yes.
कोई और उसको अलग तरीके से बोलेगा. So इंग्लिश में ऐसे होता है कि वर्ड जैसे लिखते हैं, how you the way you write it, okay, it's not pronounced in the same way.
Correct.
Okay, if I talk about communication, most of them will say communication,
Yes.
but it's incorrect. So what we need to know, we know the English language. What we need to know is we need to know how to speak it. So how to speak it is what we are going to train you on. Okay, so if you know, okay, boss, come here, go there, come and sit here. Okay, this is the basics of English, and I'm 100% sure people listening to us would be knowing more than this. Yeah. And if they are knowing more than this program is for them. This program will ensure that they take out that English language from them and ensure that they polish the language.
Wow.
And then come across as a different human being.
And what kind of activities and interactions you plan to do in this program? Are there like role plays or scenarios? How do you do that?
So the program is focused initially, the initial days of this program is about what information we want to give you. What is the English language? How it is written? How it is spoken? And then more of role plays and activities. So we'll enact a lot of role plays. We'll give them a practice session for 8 to 10 days to come out with a product. Okay. So by the end of this program, what they will be doing is, the thing that I'll be instilling in them is the confidence to speak the language. So there's a thin line in between communication and confidence. If you know to speak the language in the best possible way, but again, if you don't have the confidence to speak that, that's of no use.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you have the confidence, but if you don't know how to say that language or what to say when, then definitely you are not going to sell yourself. And by this, when I say sell yourself, I come across a very classic example. Okay. We all, somewhere in our life, have to do sales. It's a very important skill. Everyone needs to learn, everyone needs to know. And by the way, we all are salespeople.
I think since we are born, we are selling something.
You said it rightly. Yeah. If you want to sell an idea to your parents when you are a kid,
Yeah.
I want that car, or I want that toy. If you give me this toy, I will behave properly.
Yeah.
Okay. But then your father or mother says, no, this toy is not for you. But then you come across different USPs about that toy.
Yes.
Okay. What do you say about it? Take an example of a car.
Yes.
Mama, that car has lights. That are the door opens of that car. The wheels are made of real rubber.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're creating USPs around that product unknowingly. This is what you are doing in the real market.
Yeah, selling and negotiating.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is what you need to do. And to enhance these skills, you have the skills. Now you know that you have the selling skills.
Yeah.
What to say when is something that we need to know.
That also comes under the soft skills
umbrella. Absolutely correct. So your technical knowledge is there at the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Okay. We talk about any kind of product knowledge. So the product knowledge is there with you. How will you sell a product if you don't know what are the USPs of that product? Okay. How will you enhance something about that product? If you are selling a pen or a bottle of water to me, if you are not able to give me the USPs of that water, if you're not able to give me the USPs of that ink that is there, the plastic that you have used in that pen, then you won't be able to sell a pen.
Yeah.
So it is extremely important to communicate this across to the person whom you want to sell. And that communication should come with confidence.
So, Colyn, I have one very important question. What we are doing right now is what we have learned from our generation and from what we have experienced from our life. Now, my question is the young kids, and that's the next generation. A lot of things they are doing which doesn't make sense for us, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things we do which doesn't make sense for them.
Correct.
Now, when you're going to do this training program, you're going to come across this fresh blood of youngsters who are there to win the life as we know it, and they want to do it in their own way. What if you come across somebody who is telling you that I see where you're coming from, but I have a can-do attitude, I have a winning attitude, and I will achieve success irrespective whether I have the soft skills or not. This is, I think, a big clash between our experience and the attitude which the youngsters have.
Okay.
Where do you feel, how do you cope up with that? Because I'm sure you're training a lot of youngsters right now. It's very commendable, first of all. Do you come across there where you feel that attitude somewhere, a can-do attitude, a winning attitude will take over the experience part? And do you think, is there a way to convey this idea to the next generation that why these things are really important?
Look, what I feel is that we have the right experience. That's the first thing that we have. Okay. The younger generation may have the right knowledge, the right soft skills, the technical skills, but not what I feel is not the right attitude.
They don't have the right attitude.
They don't have the right attitude. What I feel is that they have a very casual attitude towards their life. Okay. Ki mere, maa baap hai. And these kids are very pampered. Okay. And I feel that, that pamperedness has it's come in a shell. Everyone wants to, when you say that, I can do this, I can do that, it's in that shell.
Right.
You break that shell and that attitude comes down. So when I train these youngsters, okay, again, do they have the right platform to show their attitude and skills? I think that's the right platform we are going to give them.
Okay.
Okay. Coming back again, the right attitude and the right skills you have to show in out of this world, out of your world, out of the shell.
Yeah.
Okay. You may be a superhero in your college. Okay, but are you the same when the environment changes for you? Okay, the environment around you is your people, the environment around you is your town, your city,
Yeah.
and you're showcasing yourself over.
Yeah.
If I pick you up from there and put you in a very isolated kind of a environment, or in a strange environment, which is again not known to you,
Hmm.
will you be the same? Will you perform the same way? Will you have the same attitude? So when we do this such kind of training, we make you ready for that kind of an environment.
And do you get more resistance from people?
Yes, of course, we do. Yes, and if I tell you, or if I share an example with you, one fine day when I was doing a training, and we had a batch of around 10 people, and it was a very small batch for me at that given point of time. Already, I've trained more than 100 people at a time, but that was a very small group. No one from that group had the ability to stand up and give their introduction. Now,
Is that because of the language barrier, or you are confident just because of the language barrier?
exactly because of the language barrier. And when I told them, okay, speak in your local language, people were able to speak. However, when it came to resistance and what we were talking about, there were some people in the group who would never understand what I was saying, and hence there was a lot of resistance. Hence, they were not able to come out with what they had. Then I drill them down to a certain level that I actually climbed, or I went down 10 steps to understand their psychology, their mindset of where they have come from, and how I can ensure that I give them the comfort level that they had in their hometown. When I gave them that, they slowly and gradually started opening up.
Wow.
Okay.
Very good.
And once you know that they have opened up, once you know, then you need to hit the nail right.
But these kind of training programs, Colin, what you're doing, will that make even the fresh graduates who have no exposure whatsoever, जिन्होंने मतलब नहीं इतनी दुनिया देखी है, आपको लगता है कि when you do these kind of training programs, they can, even if they want to go for an international job, they will be able to do it?
Yes, absolutely. So we will make you ready for an international job.
Wow.
We will make you ready so that you can speak to someone or speak to a stranger. We will train you on interviewing skills. We will train you right from communication to, we'll tell you about emotional intelligence, which are very jargon words for you at this point of time, or for them at this point of time. But we will ensure that they know these words, they know what it means. Okay. And I think, if I say a word like empathy and sympathy, okay, what do you know about that? Maybe at this point, no one knows what that means, but you might be doing it. Okay, someone,
So they still empathize.
yeah,
Still
someone
empathizing.
crashes on the bike, and if you have gone through the same thing, what do? You go, I know how it feels. मुझे पता है ये कैसा लगता है, हाथ टूटने से क्या होता है, खरोच आने से क्या होता है. So that you're doing that, just that you need to know when to put it. And especially when you deal with customers, when you deal with clients, and when you work in an international environment, you come across different personalities of people. You come across different people with different nationalities. Okay, how to cope up with these nationalities, how to understand the psychology.
But Colin, sometimes people would say कि I need to learn English because I need to go out in a different country and work. अगर मुझे नहीं जाना है बाहर, I would like to stay in my own country and work there. Do you think at least once everybody should go out and work? Just how do you think diversity, how much important do you think that diversity among people, knowing a different nationality, knowing different diverse cultures, how important do you think it is for a fresher to experience that? Because this is a very common thing. Sometimes I talk to a lot of students, and when I'm in India, and they say that why we need to know English. We know our national language. We have to stay here. We have to work here.
Yep.
And that's enough. Why do I need to go outside? But do you think they are missing out on a lot of things when they are not in a diverse culture or not interacting with different kinds of nationalities?
Look, as I rightly said some time ago, they are in a shell. Okay, you have to understand where you want to go out from here. Okay, do you still want to remain in that shell? Then are you making worth of your life remaining in that shell? I'm 100% sure that there's no meaning to your life if you stay in that shell. You have to break that shell. And I've seen people from small cities in India, they, I mean, apart from the metropolitan cities, they are from a background where they are cuddled, they are kind of, kept in a proper,
Protected, yeah.
yeah, they are protected kind of. And then when they venture out, they feel that, there's something that they cannot do. There's something that they cannot express. Okay. What you rightly said, yes, everyone should have an opportunity in their life at least once to see a different country or to work in a different country. That makes you a strong individual because you come across so many different people.
बहुत फर्क पड़ता है, like you get to know about different cultures. It kind of opens up your mind and to more opportunities also. Talking of which, right now, if let's say, I'm sure a lot of fresh graduates are be watching this, what kind of financial services, if you look at financial services industry, what kind of growing opportunities are there? Do you feel that for a new person in sales, what kind of opportunities they can get if they look into the financial services industry?
Look, in the financial industry, the opportunities are endless. But to start up with your career, and I think we discussed this some time ago, that every person has the sales skills. And I feel that every person should be a salesman once professionally in their life. Okay. This can be a stepping stone for them.
Do you think sales is a survival skill?
Yes, of course, it can be. Because if you know what is sales and if you have done a sales job in your life, you can sustain everywhere. Because it builds you, it makes you that rugged individual where you know how to face any kind of objection that comes your way. I myself have done sales. I used to sell privilege cards door to door back in my hometown.
Wow.
And I did that for an year or so. In those days, credit cards were not much of a talk in the town. So privilege cards were cards which were given by hotels, which were given by big companies, so that you can come and you can, kind of shop or enjoy their benefits. So I used to sell those cards. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because the kind of rejections that I've got, because people don't know what is a privilege card. People are unaware of this. And I felt that, this is a privilege that people are getting. So the more rejections I got, the more strikes throughs I made on people saying that this card, this person is not eligible for.
But this is a very can-do, very positive attitude, like more rejections, because a big part of the sales is getting rejected, and that quality of persistence, keep doing again and again.
Correct.
I think this, it's really important for anybody who is in the sales industry to have the dream in their head that it does not matter where I am right now, I am supposed to do big things in life, but somewhere it happens that, we give up too easy. Especially people who are in smaller towns who have not been exposed to quality education. अभी भी दुनिया में मतलब कितने सारे लोग हैं जिनको they are very capable, very learned in terms of the technical skill set, लेकिन they don't have a degree. उनके पास knowledge नहीं है, exposure नहीं है, and somewhere they don't even have the dreams of thinking that how important do you think it is important to have for someone to have that dream कि सपना होना चाहिए कि यार मैं भले whatever my conditions are, मैं यहाँ से निकल के I'll go somewhere and I'll do something big.
Correct.
And do you think there is a way that through these kind of training programs you can instill that value and that kind of dream, you can spark that?
Yes, we can. But for that, I need the will from that person. Any person should have the will to do what he feels he has to do in life. There should be a goal. Okay? The goal shouldn't be like, 1 year down the line, I should own a Ferrari. It's not like that.
Realistic होना चाहिए.
It should be realistic. We talk about smart goals and all, okay? They should set themselves very small, limited time goals when they say that, okay, in the next 3 months, this is where I want to go. In the next 6 months, this is where I want to go. If you set goals and if you have the right attitude, the right will to do it, if you don't have the will to do it, then you are not going anywhere. Chara types. Yes, I say. Of course. I mean, what it's rightly said in that Bollywood movie, right? किसी चीज को तुम शिद्दत से चाहो. Okay, that shiddat is the very big word. Yeah. It should be there in each and every individual. And if you really do it that well, I'm 100% sure that you will succeed. Now, sales is a stepping stone for you. Okay, you are not going to do sales job for the entire life, but this sales skills that you learn from this job will ensure that it takes you throughout your life. It stays with you throughout your life. Absolutely. Now, the skills that I have learned when I did the privilege card ka sales, they are still in tomorrow or today. If anyone rejects me, I don't feel bad about it. Okay, I know or I learn from that rejection. I feel that yes, there is a reason why this rejection is coming up. Okay, and I try to analyze this rejection. So, we in this entire 15-day program, we do tell you or teach you or train you on all these aspects. So, we cover all these aspects, we do role plays by the end of each session, and we ensure that you are well to do with that skill. And this 15-day program also focuses on your journey. Like, it's not what you do on day one is not reflected on day 15. What we do is from day 2 onwards, we start preparing you for the grand skit.
That's a compounded growth.
Yes.
Some years you see.
So you showcase all those skills on day 15 or day 40 by saying that, yes, I know this and I've learned this. Now I'm ready for the next step.
You're also, so during this program, I think the bigger part which you're doing is trying to bring people out of their comfort zone, right? And I know that's not an easy job, Colyn. I think this is something which is the toughest part, to bring someone out of their shell. What would be that one piece of advice you would give to a kid who's very nervous at the moment and not much exposure? It doesn't feel safe to get out of his comfort zone. He feels that कितनी बार होता है अगर हमने गलत बोल दिया कुछ तो लोग हंसेंगे, मजाक उड़ाएंगे, अगर मैंने इंग्लिश सही से नहीं बोली. अभी तक हैज़ बीन, हैड बीन में डिफरेंस नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. फ्यूचर टेंस नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. अगर हमने गलत इंग्लिश बोल दी तो लोग मजाक उड़ाएंगे. And kids, they get nervous around this. What is your one piece of advice to that nervous kid who's not able to get out of his comfort zone?
मैंने पहले भी बोला कि break the shell. Okay, you need to have the will. First is your own attitude, where you want to go in the life. And how we do this, or how I do this in the training program, is first I will climb 10 steps down, understand where you are, ask you so many questions, ask you n number of questions about your life. I'm not going to ask you anything technical. I'm not going to ask you anything about soft skills. I'm just going to ask you about your life. And then hold your hand and take you step by step to where I was. So the best part over here again is that we do a lot of hand holding to these people. We will ensure that we will give you a placement or a place where you can prove yourself to your parents, to your home country. And I think that's the greatest thing, right? कि अगर लड़के को या लड़की को जॉब मिल गया in a good firm, in a different environment, माँ बाप के लिए खुशी की चीज, I think that
I know only validation the kids need is from their parents.
correct. So that's where we do the handhold there. We ensure that you are there to fulfill the dreams of your parents, to fulfill your dreams of being successful, and to role model someone and to be a role model for someone कि भाई मैंने ये किया, इसके लिए मैं यहाँ हूँ.
It's such a proud moment for parents to see their kid doing well. Somebody who's in a small town gets out to a bigger world and being an entrepreneur or doing something really big and something nice.
Correct.
And I think if this training program is the way to do it, then I feel that everybody should be all in. So, talking of which, this program, I think it breaks you down and then builds you up, right? So I'm sure there's a lot of mental and emotional strength. You need to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally.
Correct.
How do you think, or what kind of preparation do you think mentally or emotionally somebody who's about to enter into the program should have?
So what we do is we follow the principle of unlearning and learning. first you have learned a lot about कि इस चीज को ऐसे ही करना है,
Yeah.
उस चीज को ऐसे ही करना है. This is how it has to be done. Okay, we break that silo first. What we do is we take you down to your comfort zone to unlearn things. We ensure that you have unlearned certain things which are not necessary for you. And then we instill that knowledge in you so that you learn new things the right way. And that is something that is very crucial at this point of time. I'm not saying that in 15 days you will be a superstar.
Yeah.
Okay. If you take an example of the famous Bollywood celebrity Shah Rukh Khan, when he first came to Bombay, he used to sleep on the streets.
Yes.
Okay. If you had seen his earlier movies, his first movies were literally C-grade movies. Okay. Were not that
Very shabby and
very tabby. Okay. Look at him today. Where is he? I mean, he owns the precious land in Mumbai today. And that's something that why was he able to do it? He was also from a small town. But what he had is he had a vision, he had a dream. Okay. And he always opened up himself in such a way that he unlearned and relearned things. कि बॉस आपको ऐसे सिखाया था, मुझे ऐसे सिखाई थी, मैं ऐसे नहीं करूंगा, मैं कुछ अलग से करूंगा.
I remembered him saying that, I think this is Shah Rukh Khan's words, that इस शय ने मुझे इतना परेशान किया था कि I realized that one day I will own this just because it doubled
Right. Exactly. So, and to give you a context of this, there was one interviewer who interviewed him and said, boss, आपको कभी ऐसे नहीं लगता कि you should go on the streets and eat that pani puri or that vada pav or something like that. Okay, आपको नहीं लगता कि क्योंकि आप ऐसे बाहर ही नहीं निकल सकते. So he made a very smart answer. He said that boss, ये सब मेरे घर पे आता है और ये सब मैंने पहले किया है, मुझे अभी करने की जरूरत नहीं है. So, the best of the pani puri, and again, there's one more sentence I guess he said, which one of my friends actually told me, and maybe he said it in some other interview, that I have the strength of bringing that pani puri wala to my house to serve the same pani puris.
Right.
Okay. So again, what is the motive behind telling this is you need to have a goal, you need to have a dream. Okay. You need to ensure that you have the right will to do it. And yes, all these fresh graduates who are aspiring citizens of this world, I would say, not citizens of India, not citizens of any other country, but they are citizens of this world. Their first thing is to make their parents proud. Okay. The second thing is to have a goal for themselves in life. They should go somewhere in because they have the potentials to do it. Okay. And plus, they are having the right channel. They are having the right platform to do this. And that's the best part. I mean, I know there are quite a few people who did not get the right platform to showcase their skills, and they were not successful because of that. But here we are giving you the platform, of course.
And it's a wonderful platform. So, Colyn, finally, last, and you're sharing so many great stories, and it's very inspiring that I never want you to leave this podcast. But of course, all good things come to an end. One final message to every small town graduate or normal kid who's listening to us right now, who dreams of success but is unsure, मतलब direction नहीं है, path नहीं है कि how to start. What is one final message which you would want to give?
Jokes apart, come to us, but I don't want to say that. But yes, again, I'll just summarize what I said. First things first, break the shell. Okay, come out of the shell. Come out of your comfort zone. Okay, you don't have to think about what people think about me if I do a particular thing. You have to come out of the shell. You need to have a goal of your life. You need to have a dream for yourselves. Okay, if you have these three things and if we are there to support you, I'm 100% sure that you will be successful in life. And that's something that every fresh graduate should look for. Because I have seen most of the people don't get the right platform, don't get the right guidance.
Direction नहीं होता है.
Direction नहीं होता है कि बॉस आपको ये करना है, वो करना है, और फिर they end up doing so many other things which lastly end up doing something else out of their choice.
Yeah, it's forcefully because,
Correct.
you must do something.
Yes. And, you should definitely dream about a good city which gives you that exposure, and a place which enhances your persona so that once you go back to your hometown, people will definitely, will not be able to figure out who you are. But once they know who you are and who you were, will definitely, they will be proud about you.
And this is a bit out of the topic, Colin, but here in Dubai, there are so many opportunities, right? There are so many advantages. I used to hear this that people come to Dubai from India for 4 or 5 years, earn money and leave. What I've seen in the last 15 years or 20 years, this has stopped happening.
Yes.
And what has stopped happening is people are still coming from India, but they don't leave.
They don't.
Right? They earn for 4 or 5 years and they stay, they get houses. At this point of time, do you think Dubai is one of those places which has an amazing mix of culture, expats, different nationalities, whether it is food, sports, festivals? It's wonderful to work here.
Absolutely. Dubai pampers you. Okay. It's like your parents who give you everything on what you want. Okay. The best part about Dubai, or I would rather say about UAE, is the best infrastructure.
Best infrastructure, yeah.
The best roads, the best food.
Exactly.
You'll get all the cuisines around the world.
Healthcare, food, well,
Yeah, you get the best healthcare. Okay, you get the best transportation system. You get the best mobile internet connectivity. Okay, so the basic needs of an individual is food, shelter, what else? Security, clothing.
yeah, even on top of that, security, yeah.
Dubai and UAE is rated number one in security. Yes, it's a safe place to be. You can walk on the streets at 2 a.m. in the night.
Yes.
Okay, and no one even looks at you. So
More safer, yes.
what I feel is that this city pampers you to the core, and this city again is a city of dreams. If you have the right dream, if you have the right goal, man, Habibi, come to Dubai.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Colin. It was a pleasure having you in the podcast. I'm looking for your training program, and I'm sure a lot of kids in so many smaller towns. And what you're doing is great. I hope the RISE training program is a hit. And for those 15 days, I'm 100% sure that anybody who joins this program is definitely going through a life-changing transformation. And thank you so much for what you're doing. And hopefully when I meet you next, you could share more experiences and how successful the training program was.
Absolutely, Yogesh. Thank you for having me over here and letting me know my thoughts about my program and the program that we are running for the fresh graduates. I'm 100% sure when we meet next, you'll have a lot of insights about who and how many people are successful with this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.